Hello there, YouTube. So I figured that seeing as it's pretty fresh in my mind, because I just listened to it a few hours ago, I would do a review of a CD. That's something I've never done before. Nickelback's Here and Now. I'm just going to go off my initial opinions, which I recorded here in my iPod notes. So, you know, maybe they'll change over time. Maybe if I listen to songs more than once, I'll either not like them as much, like they'll kind of be like, oh, that's not as good as I thought it was originally, or maybe it'll get better because I didn't like it at first and then it kind of grows on me. But we'll just roll with it and see how it goes. First song on the album is called This Means War. I'm not sure what it is exactly that means war. Maybe he's been going through a bad time with people and he's like, right, this means war. You know, I don't know what exactly it is that has caused him to suggest that whatever it is that has happened is going to result in conflict. The song itself definitely sounds like conflict, because, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I kind of gone off Nickelback recently, because, you know, they just kind of sound the same. Like, once you've heard a few Nickelback songs, you've pretty much heard all of them. That's just their sound. So I wasn't really expecting much. In fact, I've heard very negative things about the album. Basically went into it expecting nothing whatsoever of, like, any value, you know. I just expected more Nickelback, I suppose. But that is a very heavy intro. I was like, I just pressed Nickelback? That's... whoa. It is much heavier than I anticipated. There's real edge to it, which was completely unexpected. That definitely took me by surprise. Song number 2 is called Bottoms Up. I have heard that one before. I can't remember when or how long ago, but I've definitely heard that one because they released it, I think, before the album came out, so maybe that was when I heard it. It's one of those party songs because it's all about alcohol. If there's one song that's an advertisement for alcohol, if you will, it's probably that one. It's all about that bottoms up, really, which is apparently originated in something 18th century England or something like that, referring to toast, like toasting, not bread toast, like celebrating the bottom of the bottle is up, which is the bottoms up, which is where the name comes from. It's, you know, it's about alcohol, and it's a pretty badass song, which I definitely didn't expect. I said, you know, I didn't expect much from Nickelback, and it was like, whoa, solo. Number 3, When We Stand Together. Now, if you've heard one song off this album, it's probably that one. I know I've heard it probably quite a few times. It's a nice song. It's not as heavy as the first one, obviously, but there's a positive message behind it. It's the whole feeding children in Africa and stuff, and standing together to be a better community and friendship, and it's a nice song. I like how they've kind of used their position, because obviously, like, everybody in the world knows who Nickelback, not literally everybody in the world, but, you know, people know who Nickelback are. Like, you know, if you talk to a mainstream pop person, if they've heard of, like, one rock group, it's more than likely going to be Nickelback. They've kind of used their position and, like, where they are to spread, like, a positive message. Like Ray William Johnson, now at the end of all his videos it says, please support cancer research. It's not really that much, but it's kind of a message to all of the millions of people that watch him. I thought it was pretty good that they're using where they are to spread positivity. I liked it. Midnight Queen. It's a groovy kind of song. When I listened to it, I saw it as one of those songs, you know, when you're like speeding down the highway. I mean, obviously not me, because I don't drive, but, you know, you can envision yourself as speeding down the highway, headbanging to, you know, driving in your big open top silver convertible. Felt like one of those songs to me, where, you know, bang your head driving down the road, big long straight road, just awesomeness. And yet another badass solo. I quite liked it. I did quite like it. Gotta Get Me Some It's one of those slower ones. It's a bit like the last song, Midnight Queen, except it's one of those songs that you'd like play at a party or like a club, somewhere with a bunch of people who appreciate rock music, not obviously like a rave kind of club or like a dance party or whatever. It'd have to be with people who actually like this sort of music. But it's one of those songs you can imagine like a few people on a sofa or something with beer and just singing this song like, yeah, like one of those songs I thought was pretty cool. Lullaby is another one of those that I've heard already because the video is out. I've seen it quite a few times on Kerrang and Oscars. And what has he done to his hair? Sorry, that's the first thing I thought when I saw the video. I was like, this is a nice... What the fuck has he done? Regardless, it's a good song. I do love it. It's one of the awesome kind of heartfelt ones. In the video, I can't entirely remember what happens, but something to do with someone being rushed into a hospital and stuff, and it's kind of, no! It's one of the more emotional kind of pieces. It's a very nice song. I think if you want to listen to a song, it's a ballad-ish kind of thing. If you want to listen to one of those kind of songs, and you like Nickelback, you haven't heard any of this album, and you haven't seen the video and his crazily short hair, watch that one. / listen to it, because it's a very good song. Kiss It Goodbye. I can't even remember how this one goes. I'm not gonna lie, half these songs I can't remember how they go, because, as I say, it was quite a few hours ago now that I listened to the album. I only really remember the ones that I've heard a couple times. What I've got here is Nice and Heavy. Very riffy. So, I'm gonna guess that it's quite a heavy song with some riffs. If I remember rightly, it was a good song. Track number 8. Trying Not to Love You. This is another ballad type song. I put that it sounds like a Westlife song, but heavier and in Nickelback's distinctive style. And so I think the way that it's kind of played, and like the way it sounds like one of Westlife's kind of big epic ballad type things, but obviously heavier because it's Nickelback, and it sounds like Nickelback. It's kind of what you'd expect, I suppose. Holding On to Heaven is track number 9. Put that it's the most boring song on the album so far. Maybe I need to listen a couple more times because these thoughts are literally my first impressions. I have said that. Definitely not the best. If I remember rightly, that was the only song on the album that I didn't actually like that much. Every other song I was like, yeah, that one I kind of switched off. Number 10, Everything I Wanna Do. And this was the one with the nice little bass riff. Quite atmospheric guitar sounds in that as well. It's like a very slow, kind of like epic song. Not like, oh, that's epic. Like, it actually like is an epic kind of scale and feel to it, with like all the atmospheric guitar and bass riffs, and more badass soloing. And finally, track number 11, Don't Ever Let It End. The last song on the album is called Don't Ever Let It End. Obviously I didn't want it to go on forever because, as I've said, it's Nickelback and it would probably end up sounding the same after a while. It's quite an interesting choice actually, because it's more of like a softer song. It's like a love song, it's a peaceful song, it's, very different to like the heavier stuff, which is most of the rest of the album. The previous song contains the line, "You and me sitting in a tree, Fucking," censor. So, yeah. So that's track 10 that has that line in it. And then track 11 is like a nice love song kind of thing. It's like, usually their songs are about like whores and stuff. And this one's nice. It's different. It's different to the predominantly heavy album. but it's a good song. I did enjoy it. So that just about wraps it up. To summarise, it was a good album. Definitely much better than I expected. I didn't actually listen to much of Dark Horse, so maybe that was more akin to Here Now, but in terms of, you know, how I kind of went off Nickelback and the hate on the internet, which I'm going to admit I kind of bandwagoned onto, you know, the kind of sameness and the negative reviews and opinions of the album, I really didn't expect anything from it, and it is much better than I thought it would be, and much heavier, which was a nice touch, a nice surprise. So basically, I enjoyed this album, and I might even buy it at some point, and then wave it around in front of the camera and go, hey look, I bought this Nickelback album that I reviewed, and it was my first ever CD review music type thing. I'm not going to give the score out of 10, because I don't do that. I don't do arbitrary numbers and whatnot. It's because I'm wearing a hipster scarf, isn't it? So yeah, stay tuned. I'm hopefully going to do more videos in the next few days. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the flip side.